recent years, Dallas has seen a significant rise in crimes involving fraud. Fraud can be defined as a criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain and can be committed in many forms. Here to discuss how DPD is tackling fraud, specifically towards the elderly community, is Detective Ryan McCarrick of the Elder Fraud Squad. So the Dallas Police Department recently announced the creation of the Elder Fraud Squad. Can you tell me a little bit more about the unit and what it is exactly?
Sure. So the Elder Fraud Squad was created so that we would have dedicated individuals responsible for investigating financial crimes affecting elderly victims. To do that, we work very closely with banks and financial institutions, and also with protective agencies like Adult Protective Services, and even the prosecutors. And we do this to make sure that the victims are receiving the services they need at every step of the way.
So who exactly qualifies as an elder individual?
Under Texas state law, an elderly individual is anyone age 65 or older.
What kind of cases does the fraud squad investigate exactly?
So some of our cases involve exploitation by someone the victim knows and trusts, which could be a caregiver who misuses a credit or debit card or checks. Sometimes it's even a family member who could transfer those victims' resources into their own names. It could even be their house sometimes. And sometimes the perpetrator is someone the victim doesn't know at all, like in the case of a scam.
And so what are some common scams that you typically see on day to day?
One common scam that particularly affects the elderly community is the grandparent scam. And the way that works is the scammer calls the victim and pretends to be the victim's loved one and says that they're involved in some sort of an emergency. It could be a car accident, or maybe they've been arrested, and they say that they need money immediately to help with the situation. Another common scam that affects elderly individuals is the Publishers Clearinghouse scam. And the way that works is the victim's contacted and told that they've won a large sum of money, but in order to collect it, they have to first pay the taxes or other fees associated with winning.
So how can we protect ourselves and even our grandparents?
So one of the first things to keep in mind is just to slow down and stop and think. The scammers are really good at creating a false sense of urgency around the situation, and if you just stop and think about what they're saying and does it make sense, you can protect yourself that way. Another way of protecting yourself involves the way you're sending money. So it's never a good idea to send cash through the mail, large amounts of cash. Sometimes they'll tell you to wrap it in a t-shirt or stick it between the pages of magazines, and that's not a good idea. Also, there's no legitimate need to pay for anything with gift cards, or usually not cryptocurrency either. Sometimes the scammers will ask you to keep secrets. So if someone is pressuring you to keep it a secret, there's probably a good need not to. So tell someone. You could even help that other person by making them aware of that sort of scam. And if anyone ever has a question, they're welcome to run it by us, and we'll tell them what we think.
It's currently tax season, as you know. Do you see an uprise in this type of fraud happening to anyone in general?
Scams like this are pretty prevalent throughout the year, but certainly during tax season we see an increase in identity theft, especially related to income tax preparation.
What would be the best way for someone to contact you if they had any questions or if they wanted to gather more information about the squad?
Sure. So our contact information, and additional information, links to other resources are available on our website at dallaspolice.net.